Good morning. The current time is 8:13 Central Time, and today is Thursday, March 27th. And I'm Chris Allen here for 270 weather. Weather in the 270 area code and beyond. Good morning, everybody. Obviously, we're going to talk about the chance of severe weather come the weekend. We're starting to get a little bit better finite details, which I will discuss here in a few moments. But first of all, let's take a look outside because we've had a little bit of rain. Here is the, oh, well, again, I forgot to make the adjustment. Still, I had to do this yesterday too. I think I think what's happening is my cats are climbing up, getting in my window or something. Because that didn't used to do that. But anyway, so there you see the live shot from the Plano cam, and we've had some rain, light rain. If you were watching me last night on News 40, I said there was a model or two that said, yeah, there might be a little bit of light rain. Then some of the other models were like, because of the dry air in place. But some of this light rain has overcome that dry air. And so some of us are seeing those showers this morning. So the showers are not going to be all that much this morning, but it's the ones coming in later this afternoon that could produce a few thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon. I'm not anticipating any severe weather. So that's certainly some good news. All right, here is a look at the stats from yesterday. We had a high of 65, 1 degree above the normal of 64, and a low of 38. Now, as of before midnight last night, no precipitation for the past 24 hours, but whatever we pick up today is going to be pretty doggone light. Okay. So here's a look at the radar, and you can see how that little system, this is all ahead of a warm front that is going to establish the really warm air that is going to sit over us through the next few days and into the weekend, helping add the fuel for some of these thunderstorms that we've been discussing. Let me put this into motion so you can see how this is progressing here. As you can see, it's just kind of in a steady stream coming in from our northwest and then slipping down through the Wabash River Valley and into Bowling Green, and then on into toward I 40 between Nashville and Knoxville. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of this will begin to lift off to the north and east. It's a warm front that is pushing all of that through. So some of that moisture is just kind of riding along the front, but it won't last all day. We'll get a little bit of a break, and then we could see a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms here later on. Here's a look at the high resolution satellite view, and you can see just right where I was pointing at on the radar. You can see that steady stream of clouds. We've got sunshine on either side. You go up to places like Campbellsville and E Town and Danville, they've got sunshine. And then far back to the west, you go to Sikeston, Missouri, and the Boot Heel, Poplar Bluff, they've got sunshine. So this is all associated with that warm air boundary as it's pushing through. So those clouds may depart for a while later today and then return with any shower or thunderstorm activity that we see later on. Let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet and show you current temperatures and current data, which is updated every 5 minutes through the Kentucky Mesonet network. from WKU. And you can see here at 8:18 a.m., we're in the mid to upper 40s, slightly cooler out to the east, and warmer, slightly warmer to the west. Already some 50s, lots of 50s, showing up back to the west of Interstate 65. If you're curious about moisture, we've had just a little bit. There's 500s down in um, Tompkinsville, 1/100th of an inch of rain so far this morning in, Scottsville. And then here for Warren County, 400ths at the Corvette plant, just a mere trace or 1/100th of an inch at the southern Mesonet station. And let's see, 600ths up there near Morgantown, 400ths up near Hartford. You get the idea. Everybody else is just without so far, but it's that right there in that little stream. In fact, I can show you. They have a radar that I can turn on as well. Where did it go? Down here on the bottom. Well, it was there. They took it away. Or is it in here? There it is. Okay. I think it was somewhere. But there you can see um, how that all kind of lines up. Now, there's some places here where you get some returns like this. They're either missing the station or the sensor, and so it's reading zero, or some of this may not be reaching the ground because the air is too dry. The air is still pretty dry. I mean, dew points are only around 40, and we've got temperatures around 50. So it's not much of a dew point depression or difference, but it's enough that where, some of this is going to have a hard time reaching the ground. Winds, check those out. Winds are coming in from the east and southeast at 5 to 10. Not much of a gust, maybe 10, 11, 12. So, anyway, there are your current conditions as of 8:21 a.m. Central Time. Okay, now let's go to the maps, and then we'll discuss how all of that leads up to the severe weather for Sunday. So here we are with this dirty ridge of high pressure, and I say dirty because it's contaminated with some rain. So it's at 1026 millibars, which is fairly strong, but this is why we're mainly dry here at the surface, but just above us, not that far up, maybe 10,000 feet or even less, it's saturated, a little more saturation of moisture. So that's why this little disturbance is touching off some of the light rain showers that we're seeing today. And again, it's ahead of that warm front that'll be pushing through and helping establish that really warm air. The next few days are going to be well into the 70s, if not touching 80 at some point. Here's this afternoon, and notice the winds start to pick up too. Notice those tight lines there starting to come together. Indication of wind. Here we are into this evening. This is when we could see a few thunderstorms, but since they're along a warm front, these would be elevated thunderstorms. In other words, these are not surface based. They're not based on building from the heat of the day. They are they're more elevated. So these are usually not severe. These are just your garden variety showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. This is nothing to worry about. Okay. So even if you hear thunder and see lightning this afternoon, no worries. This is going to be just your typical stuff, your what I call your general thunderstorms. Yes, sir. General thunderstorm. All right. So we go into tonight, midnight. The warm front starts to come through. The winds pick up and the warm air starts to take over effective tomorrow. This is when we get up into the even upper 70s, maybe close to 80. And the winds will be breezy from the southwest at, say, 15 to 25, maybe even some gust up to 30 possible. So, all of this is going to help feed in the Gulf moisture ahead of the big system, which is coming in for Sunday. Now, we will get a few rounds of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. Um, this will be more of a very spring like rain and thunderstorm setup here. I don't foresee really any severe weather. We're going to be pretty saturated with moisture, especially as we get into Saturday night. So I think the clouds, the rain on Saturday will keep us away from the severe weather. And the best energy is going to be back west of us. But it's not until Sunday, really Sunday evening, when we start to see the possibility of severe weather. Now, that you just saw goes from, notice, 7 a.m. Sunday to 24 hours later, 7 a.m. Monday. It is in between that time when the cold front right along and ahead of the front is where the best setup for severe weather will be. And this synoptic setup here, this chart doesn't show that because we're not within the short term window of forecasting. We're still in the long term. So it's not going to show that detail, but it's there. So here's Monday morning. We'll wake up to some showers and then temperatures turning cooler, dew points going down from the 60s into the 40s, even into the 30s as that drier air works in behind it. But then here comes another piece of energy with a warm front and a cold front and a low pressure system way up north into the Midwest that is going to bring us a chance of showers again by Wednesday of next week. And we could have a few thunderstorms, maybe even some nasty weather with that too, as that cold front comes on by next Wednesday into Thursday. But that's a week away, more than a week away. So yeah, there's that. Okay, let's get into the details of the severe weather outlook. So here's today. And like I said, this is nothing to be concerned about today. We're painted in that general thunderstorm garden variety stuff. This will be all elevated stuff because of the warm front. The better chance of getting anything more surface based or more intense would be back to the northwest. St. Louis may see something today, as far as they could get a couple of strong storms, maybe a couple of severe out of that today, but not us. This is not us today. This is nothing to worry about as far as severe weather. Here's tomorrow. Again, just a general severe or general thunderstorm day. No severe weather. Then we get into Saturday, and then we start to see here's our approaching big system. Again, on Saturday, I think we're going to have enough, as I mentioned, enough layer of clouds and enough moisture, just rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder. It is going to keep the instability down uh, enough to where we just see general thunderstorms, garden variety stuff, but some pretty good rainfall. I think we'll pick up some nice rain out of this. So the big day is Sunday, and we're still in that very large outlook area. Now, it has changed shape slightly. It is still going to be, it looks like a level 2, at least level 2 slight risk, but I think there's going to be a level 3, maybe even a level 4 enhanced to moderate risk that is going to be back here along the Ohio, Wabash, and Mississippi rivers, taking in western Kentucky. Maybe not to Bowling Green, but close. to Bowling Green. And it's going to be right in there where we see the better setup for the strongest storms and maybe the better chance of tornadoes. Tomorrow, we will be in that short term window, which means I'll have all the greater details. They'll break it down from what we've been seeing all week to the more defined, well defined, detailed risk levels. That'll happen tomorrow because we'll be 3 days out at that point. Um, Here's Monday. Any severe weather will move east of us, and then we're in the clear by really by Monday morning, well into the clear. Okay. So nothing has changed as far as the severe weather threat. I still anticipate um, a damaging wind threat, large hail is on the table, and even tornadoes. But I still believe that the greater risk is going to be back to the west of us. So that's the way I see it right now. In fact, let me. I'm going to do something I haven't really pulled up yet. I'm going to call up a the graphic that I used last night on News 40. If it's still there, it's not there. Okay. All right. Well, I was going to show you that, but I had a graphic last night that would better define. It had that area. I colored it a little different, just so that you could see it. But hopefully, you understand what I'm saying. Okay. We go to the model viewer. And as you see here, we're going to see some warmer than normal temperatures. Normal right now is 64, 65 as we go through this time period here, even 66. So we go from 64, the normal high temperature today. In the next couple of days through the weekend, it goes 65. Then as we get into next week, it goes 66, then 67. It just comes up a little each every other day or 2 or 3 days. The normal high temperature based on all the records that we have, 150 plus years of records in Bowling Green. So what you're seeing here is well above normal, especially that 79 on Friday, near 80 tomorrow. Um, and really close to that as we get into Saturday and the big day on Sunday. But look what happens. We go from 77 or near 80 Sunday. The big system with the cold front comes in. We fall to 54 Sunday night into early Monday, and then we only get up to 62. And that's going to be a few degrees below normal, just slightly. Then we go from there to 39, not below freezing, but 39 or 40 Monday night into Tuesday morning. And then we see another pronounced warm up again. And this is where in the middle of the week, I saw, I showed you that next system coming in for Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even beyond that. But you see the numbers back into the mid and upper 70s. So something could be brewing there as far as another severe weather threat. All right. Here's your 7-day forecast as seen on News 40 on TV last evening and on WNKY.com that I did last night. This is my forecast. 70 today, chance of showers this morning, and then maybe a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Garden variety stuff down to 55 tonight. Then 78, maybe close. We could hit 80 tomorrow with a few showers. 74 Saturday with that mostly rain and rumbles of thunder. Nothing severe. It is Sunday when we'll start out warm and breezy, 77, and I could even bump that up probably 79 or 80. Depends on how much dry time we have without storms. There's your severe weather coming in Sunday night. It looks like it's going to be late Sunday night into early Monday morning. I know, another one of those. It's going to be a line of storms that come through with the potential for wind damage, hail, and maybe, yes, even a few tornadoes. Then heavy rain. I could also put that heavy rain on Saturday, but you see it there on Monday behind the system or as the system passes. I think we're going to have more heavy rain. But look at the cool down, 77 to 62. Yeah, big drop in temperature. And then a few showers Tuesday, Wednesday as we go back from the low 60s into the low 70s. So, um, I'm checking you guys, you those of you in the chat room this morning. I appreciate it so much. Um, what time will the rain move in on Sunday? Well, it's going to be Sunday afternoon and evening at first, but then the line looks to come in probably Sunday night, like 10, 11, midnight. That's the way it looks right now. Beth asked that question. Um, yeah, and I keep getting questions about um, radio. As many of you know, I left my radio show, my choosing, not theirs, my choosing to leave about a month ago. I think it was. Yeah, a little over a month ago. Um, and that decision was one because number one, um, I decided that it was a lot. I was having to get up after coming in late at night after doing the weather on TV. I was having to get up early to do the radio show. It was just, and then I was losing sleep. I was not feeling very healthy. And it was a good time to jump off because the owners of Sam, the radio station, changed. And so I thought, this is a good time to jump off and just, as much as I love doing radio, I miss doing it, but it was a good decision because it helped me relax a little bit more and get the rest that I need. I just can't. I've always been able to do multiple things at multiple times, and I've always enjoyed that because it keeps me busy. But I'm to that point in my life where I just need to slow it down. And as many of you know, and I don't know anything about this, but I've listened and I know it's no longer Sam. Sam is dead. RIP, rest in peace to Sam. It's no longer Sam. It's BG 100.7 or something like that. Yeah, it's different now. Different people, different things. The music is about the same, but it's different, still different. Different owners. So I don't know what they're doing. I just know that the whole radio spectrum in Bowling Green has changed. The Beaver moved frequencies. This changed names, that changed names. They've changed people. I mean, it's crazy. I've never seen radio in Bowling Green doing all of this, changing. But it's one of those things where a company um, outside of Bowling Green decided to come in and saw the properties and saw the radio stations and went, "Hey, well, we want that." So they bought it. They offered the right amount of money and worked out all the details. But as new owners, just like if it were up to you, you might decide to change the name of the station, the format, the music that you play, And that's up to the new owners. But frankly, I did not see myself going there. Um, so that part of me left in enough time before the whole thing changed. Um, and I think it was the right move for me. So, all right. By the way, the great grandbaby is doing great. He was a little bit low on sugar yesterday and he had to go in the NICU. But both mom and baby are fine. Thank you for all the well wishes and for all the comments you guys have made in that regard. Now that I'm a great grandfather, I'm going to have to turn up the hearing aid. Now, actually, I don't wear a hearing aid, but what did you say? Because I'm a great grandfather now. What? What was that? I'm going to have to. That's what I've been joking with people about. That it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Little baby Keith Allen. I love that. All right, I've been on here long enough. You guys, I'll be back on News 40 tonight at 5, 6, and 10. In the meantime, have a great Thursday. God bless you. And thank you for watching.